Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I am Mr. JP. The game is out of ore. Big thanks to the subscribers and everybody who's getting involved. Everybody who's been watching my videos. Big shout out to you. Big love. Thank you. Appreciate it all. Now, on with Out of Ore. Yes. Currently running through the map with a bagger. Just had the autosave, so hopefully we won't have a pause for the next 30 minutes. And we had the Friday update a couple of days ago. Things in my life have been a little heavy, by the way, which is why I haven't been sort of doing as much gaming as I should, and why you still find me in this end of the hole with the bagger. But the Friday update, yeah, last week they alluded to a surprise. If the surprise was the metal sorter, I am disappointed. Purely disappointed. Because during the testing of this game, what was, I don't know, 3 years ago, when I was giving my time voluntarily to try and help develop it, and received pretty much nothing from the moment other creators got involved. However, I suggested a way of sorting the ores into different things like a screening plant a while back. It has finally arrived and it's a pile of poop. Pure pile of poop. So yeah, no surprise, metal sorter doesn't work the way I think it should. There's a few things. Anyway. So my disappointment level with the update was high, nearly as disappointing as my opinion of what's in this end of the mine. Because everything you see here in the deeper blue is iron ore. That lighter colour over there, where the gravel has blown to white with the explosives at the gap, is the stone. And I thought there was going to be an awful lot more stone coming out of here. Which means that the huge oil refinery you can just see in the top left corner up there that I've built and processing plant for making tarmac has no resources. Unless you want to make your roads out of, steel. Suppose that brings the whole new meaning to the word iron road. But yeah, anyway. So, yeah, it is a weekend of disappointment I have suffered. Family life's not very good, so yeah. Never a good day when people leave. For good, yeah. Gotta be honest, autistic emotion problems, not really dealing with it very well. Anyhow, on with the out of oring. So yeah, I'm basically cutting my way around this end of the mine, and running backwards and forwards with this device, which you can get away with a lot with the bagger, but one thing you cannot do is what I'm about to do, which is when turning to the left hand side, when cutting into a face, you can see on, if I zoom in, there we go, there is sort of like a triangle at the top of the hopper, and then you've got a sticking out box, and then you've got the bars underneath. The bars underneath are pretty much ghost imagery, in the fact that they will go through stuff quite well, especially when cutting downwards. However, that boxy lump on the front is like a tooth. You can cut into the end of it with the voxels a little bit, but then you'll start to hang up and donk. And because of the way this system works, you will find as you get to the middle of the sweep, that's where the worst the cutting is in the direction that you travel. But yeah, this I might get away with. But if you cut much more than this on that front box, like back to that little square texture in the middle, it will jam up. It will just hit your vehicle, will start moving and rotating. It's not a good day in the park, so it's best to just sit like that. Just so that bottom corner of that box rests on what you're cutting on the step. And I'm going to be honest, if the material that I was cutting stuck up back further toward the machine, the bars on the bottom wouldn't be interacting. They're just a ghost image. I think it'd be rather cool if there was like a spinning roller drum that sort of protected that bar and chucked the material that it does scrape up into a chute that went down to the wheel or something. I know that in real life you do not touch that bar on a bucket cutter on any circumstances, because it just twists all the boom out, and when it does come loose and swings back the other way, it could take the whole machine over. So yeah, in reality, only the buckets will be cut, but the buckets will be big enough to swallow a bulldozer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the big brother of this machine when it comes out. So yeah, we'll get to the end of this sweep and then we'll go on a little tour. Sorry if I'm a little bit muffly, it's like 7:45 in the morning on a Sunday. I'm up early. It's a rainy UK day, by the way. Proper grey, proper wet. I'm hoping it'll brighten up and make me feel a bit better about what's happened in the last couple of days. But there we go. It's darkly ironic that people get caught red-handed and they just don't get the justice they need as well. It's been an across-the-board disappointing time. You know, people not getting what they deserve, people getting far more than they deserve, people getting stuff that they totally did not deserve. It's been, yeah, a bit of a rollercoaster. Started with a full-on fun thing. My disabled mother threw a dinner party, which was a good giggle. Everyone seemed to enjoy themselves, but a lot of hard work for my father and I. So, I mean, this is the bagger, this is the ejection thing. It goes down into a hopper and then up through this array of lifters all the way to the top. And these conveyors are handy ways to get around. I mean, this one isn't the handiest because it's not actually connected to the platform that the bagger's on. For realism, the bagger should be running on the ground and rah-de-rah-de-rah. Just taking the opportunity to check my generators have got enough coal in them, since I came close to running out in one of them. Must have been running this game for a little while. And then I looked at the save and it's like 263 hours. A certain amount of that is overnights from polishing up gems. I will stop doing that at some point. Mainly because I'm running out of diamonds and rubies to run through the polisher, which is kind of handy. Finally got through the backlog, so yeah, it's a long walk up all the way up to the top of the machine here, where I have been building. And yeah, I suppose I should cover the road build first, really. So, where is it? There it is. We'll go for this view. Might be a bit easier on everybody. So yeah, I've obviously worked out along here with the loader and levelled out a working area. We have a hopper here, standard kind of thing. Got the drive over dump deck, conveyors and a hopper below me. These conveyors run all the way over here to these lifters and into the hoppers. Sorry if I'm being a bit slow about this and going over the overview for everyone, but still seeing the questions in the Discord and stuff, so thought I'd answer a few. These hoppers here go through to the standard kind of sorter arrangements of the drum through to wash plants over here with the water supply. Get out of that conveyor. There we go. So yeah, this is part of the water supply to the wash plants going into there. And beyond those you have the refinery section, which the wash plants are, you've got sorter on the end, metals one way, dirt the other. Dirt goes to sail up at the top here. And this sail point is rigged up over here. I'm on the wrong level. Yeah, there's a sales point rigged up here that's just for dumping trashy dirt for sale, and goes through to a sell point under there. But it's just big enough to pack a dumper in underneath for the road building. So it's a way of creating backfill. Over here I've got these two parked up. Interesting effect, wherever you park a loader, it will, on loading, take a square chunk out of the deck like you see in the bottom right corner there, just above the speedo. So don't park it on soft ground. You need hard parking spaces if you want to park up your loaders. The same applies to excavators. The bagger does it. So yeah, there's a few things that on loading in, the bagger will cut a vertical hole in whatever you're cutting in the wall, which is interesting. So yeah, then this is the kind of power plant you're going to need for a large two-way machine with oil refinery. The only thing I don't have rigged up is some of the more advanced manufacturing gear. So yeah, it's got the fuel truck parked in here, but that's pretty useless. It's going to be moved. So yeah, under here is actually the coal handling. So we've got a container of coal here, which I've recently emptied by refilling all my generators. And above here there's a weird arrangement of elevator and drop, and this is purely a way of splitting the machine down so that the load is divided, because here we've got a load of 3000 kilowatts on there, and over here the load on this side of the machine is 2500, and that's 4500, and things were starting to overload. It wasn't a good day out in the park. So yeah, material goes through along the back there, and here we go. Here we've got the coal screen followed by the 2 crushers, and into these containers which I have added, and these are here purely so I can grab gravel out of these. They're nearly full, which means we'll finally start producing some other stuff. Once they're full, when I take from them, it won't take long to refill them, but I bring the gravel down over to here and can load them into these silos, which have got the pass-through turned on, which is this button here, and when you've got the pass-through on, they just empty out like a hopper. So the moment I fill these into the tarmac plant, out the other end for asphalt, just like that. So yeah, obviously you got the oil supply running in from the oil field here, and these are filling up nicely. And I might take one of these asphalt plants off of here and install the oil refinery. However, powering that is going to be interesting. So what it might have to be is a splitter. So join all of these together into the double input over there, and then have the other end of the splitter to the oil refinery, because there currently is no way to put power into just a liquid system. I don't know whether you can put these power motor generator things onto a liquid system and they'll just run it. I need to do some experiments. These are the questions and answers that I would love to ask, and would have done of other creators and stuff. YouTube creators, we're all on the hunt for content and new ideas. The AIs can help you by suggesting stuff, but at the end of the day, there's nothing like a bit of collaboration. Unfortunately, the competitive nature of YouTube means that collaboration is sometimes not there. Add in the fact that, I don't know, for some reason people across the pond find me intimidating. Even over a voice link in a game. Something to do with the speed my brain runs at. But anyhow. So yeah, down here, we have outputs. This is obviously the output of all the other valuables comes out into this conveyor and along here, and then the output from the froth floaters drops into this conveyor as well, which means that this conveyor can and does get excessively loaded on occasion. However, all of this comes into this container, which has got every slot filled for iron, other than the bottom here where I've got a little bit of copper, aluminium, lithium and silver ore, just in case you need it for a mission or anything. That runs through here. The valuables out of the wash plant are added to the conveyor here, and then they all go round to this container here, which is also a filter. This one I've got gold and silicon, and the rest is all rubies and diamonds. That takes the rubies and diamonds out of this. I could replace this with the metal filter now, but I don't want to. I like the ability of just like being able to look and see what's going through there. This one here, which is on the other side of this is the high temp sorter, which might have been replaced with the metal sorter, I'm not sure. I need to have a look. Let's have a look. Factory, production. What have we got in here? We've still got a high temp sorter and we've got the metal ore sorter. So how do they work differently? Any material, everything else, iron, aluminium and silicon out of there. Yeah, okay. I can see why it's got a variant use, but I will use it later. This empty one has got the pass-through on, and this is for the I think this is the standard, yeah, standard smelter. What I do here, because iron ore is being produced in ridiculous amounts out of this mine at the moment, I just grab a block of iron ore out here, because all of the iron runs into the high temp smelter. Kind of not handy. You need a magnetic separator to separate the iron with maybe a 50-50 splitter to return half of it back to the line for the high temp sorter to make steel and half of it into this one to make iron. But yeah, I'm manually doing it. I just load that with the iron that I want. It runs through there and it all comes out, and everything that's produced ends up in these two containers here. So this one I recently emptied, so we've only got 3 steel, but it fills with steel. We've got silicon and the aluminium and everything else in the bottom here. And over here is a storage unit that contains the overs, and there are some overs. I don't like that corner sticking into that can. Yeah, I can get around that somehow. I'll figure it out. Anyhow. So yeah, in here we get the copper, the silver, iron, lithium and gold. So, Oilfield down there. Grab the oil from there, get it to your smelters. That's how you make plastics. And by right clicking on the item you want produced, just sends it straight down, saves you dragging. So yeah. So much quicker. Such quality of life improvement. And so yeah, electronic parts appear to be good money. Nice easy thing to make. I have an excessive amount of copper and plastics, so why not? In here, what am I making? Nuts and bolts. There we go. And bolts and nuts may be the bane of my life, I'm not sure. But yeah. So as you can see, all these machines are making the bolts and the nuts. This machine is making barrels. Pretty sure it is, yeah. And empty barrels out of iron are quite good profit. But what's better profit, I believe, I haven't done the maths. I need to do the maths. Because science is nothing without maths. And you can't really test anything without maths. You can't prove anything without maths either. Most of the time if you're talking about your finances, the math will prove you've been an idiot. Not that I'm looking at the British Treasury right now. Anyhow. But yeah, I could be looking at myself as well. Anyhow. So I'm producing a lot of iron beams here, and I'm producing a lot of the nuts and bolts, which may seem a bit crazy thing to do. But it's got its reasoning. And its reasoning is the whole production crafting table cycle. That's what we're in here at the moment. And so, got all the bolts and nuts, got all the beams, go over to this one. Yeah, you see that's a lot of steel blocks, and there's a lot more being produced. So yeah, and that's making steel blocks. They are one of the most expensive items in the steel range, I believe. So yeah, it's something to do. I could just sell the raw materials in bulk, which is how I've ended up at over 500 million since the last time I did a video. And it's because of stuff like this. Like I've got copper coming out of my ears. We have a fairly full iron container. I haven't really been producing much of that. The steel container is full. We're starting to build up a certain amount of aluminium, lithium and silicon, and I haven't even hit a pure seam of those. And here we've got just a bit of gold and silver lying around because that was coming out my ears, but it's kind of gone short. So yeah, and if we come out to here, get a nice little viewpoint of the whole area, which that's the last cut of the bagger down at that corner, I think. And then I'm going to cut sideways, and then I'm going to come back this way and get rid of this lump because it's annoying. And so yeah, the road build. Oh yeah, there's gem washing going on down here, but I'm running out of those. So yeah, over here I had to scrape away a bit to build my nice little oil field, and positioning these oil things is a pain in the neck if you want to align them to your grid. If you want to build your oil field separately to your other grid, that's fine. And when I talk about grids, it's a Space Engineer's term. You could apply it here, but essentially the grid layout is set by the first block you lay, and that sets the angle that all these are on. So if you want everything square to everything else, it's sort of a build a line of blocks. And you've got your sort of flat line. I really need to extend that floor out along here with a walkway. But when positioning these, they have to go on the coal seam. And I found that one of the easiest ways to position them was to pretty much have one in the inventory and layout, see where it says you can build it, and then build a pipe layout or a block layout and build it on it, if that makes sense. Because if you put a floor block down and try and build these on the floor, it'll say it's an invalid location. So you need that sort of pipe connection side to plug in on. So I just build a block, say, for this one, build a block in this square here. So block there. I'll put a pipe section on the block, but it's pointing the wrong way if you do it towards where you want it. So the trick is to block up here, put a pipe section away, delete the block, put a pipe section in, and then attach the oil to the pipe over the coal, and it'll tell you it's in the right place before you plug it on, and bish bosh, you're done, just like that, no worries. Like Danny Dyer on a gambling advert. Deep breaths. YouTube's gambling adverts are horrendous. For those who are under 18 who aren't exposed to them, find a way to block them. So yeah, oil. Oil is print your own money. It never runs out. It's worth like nearly $100 a barrel. And it just sits there and pumps. If you're not feeding gravel in, you won't get asphalt. Now, I've only done a cut. I don't think that gravel converts directly to asphalt. I think you lose some. I'm sure I've put more asphalt than this through this machine. Like pretty sure of it. Like, there we go. Why is that? Oh yeah, it was feeding some other stuff through. So yeah, there's something. Asphalt's only worth like 14 per item. You get less of it than the gravel that you put in. If you're trying to make a profit, don't make tarmac. So yeah, that's sort of the way that goes down. I did need a vehicle for this bit. So down here I've just been working out this section and smoothing it out and just having a little rug. Oh, that didn't go well. Reminds me of my Land Rover, which had a sticker on it on the back which this way up would read correctly. Yeah, the sticker did read that if you can read this, please turn over. Right, so got me a little vehicle, go for a little drive and see if I can actually still get round the mine. But things have started to get a little bit shaky. It might be that the game has been running for about 2 days, which is pretty impressive for the single player mode. Yeah, there is no way out of this hole up here. But yeah, this is the sum total of the road that has been built. I love the fact that you can still get a vehicle through the gap between these. Yeah, they have improved the handbrake. They weren't lying. So my old road used to go up that way, and I want a viewpoint on that hill over there. So let's see if I can go around the other way. Shoot the eye of the needle through that gap. There's a very fun driving game inside this for multiplayer mode. Rough ground, never good. There is a rolled route around here somewhere. I'm going to end up in the mine, I can see that happening. Yeah, not a bad viewing point, okay. Yeah, that's a hole. Right. So it's only when you get on the other side of it that you see the kind of scale you're building at. It doesn't feel that big when you're over there, but from here it looks huge. So yeah, that's where we're at in the mine at the moment. Sort of running out of inspiration. I need to build more road from the sort of junction where the trucks are parked up over there, where I was shooting through that little gap. Get up there. And that hill that's just on the top right, top left of the screen now, is where I'm aiming for. And so the road will come up this slope somehow and into there. I'm pretty sure I did clear a route up to there. Is that it? Yeah, this 4x4 is crummy. Need a Land Rover in this game, man. Yeah, and before you laugh, my old Land Rovers would have eaten this hill for breakfast. My new one, ugh. We might not even know we were going up the hill, I'm going to be honest. It's so comfy inside. Kind of like, do you want to open your schnapps? We'll just drive up this mountain. So yeah, this is the hillside I want. Just here. I want to get a tower up here, one of the fire watch towers, and another one on that little promontory over there, because I think a road linking the two down through this valley here isn't too far out. I reckon it's doable. There's a nice coal reserve over there, or something. It's worth cutting into. And then on this side we've got Mount Mowgli, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so this is where we're at in the mine so far. Anything you guys want to see, or questions, answers, that kind of thing, leave them in the comments. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Well, harder than certain policies of the British Foreign Office come and hit home at the moment. But yeah, thanks for viewing, everyone. Thanks for being there. Appreciate you. Look after yourselves. It's a very grey and wet world out there, so wrap up warm and stay safe. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.